on this computer. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Nyrka. How are
Hola.
you?
I am so good. I am so excited to have you here because it's my first conversation with an unstoppable leader.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be fun.
I think so. I mean, I think since the day I met you, I thought you were so fun. And I think maybe we can start talking about that, how we met. Do you remember?
Honestly, I don't remember. I know that there's a story from you, something about a red dress, which every time mortifies me that I was somehow in like a red dress.
I mean, it might
Uh,
have been hot pink, but
oh, not better.
true. But I
I'm
think I
going
remember.
to assume that that was a Valentine related outfit. Again, just assuming that's the case, because we met when I was in the hospitality industry. So if I was wearing something of that color, I'm going to say I was trying to go with the theme of the dinner or event that evening. I have
You
no idea.
you
So
were
many
on
years
brand.
ago.
Yeah, you were doing
I
your
was on right. I
branding.
was on brand for the holiday.
100%, probably, most likely. But I remember meeting you and I was going to dinner with my husband. And I remember telling him, "Oh my God, did you see that girl?" Like, pointing. And I remember saying, "I know her. I mean, I don't know her. I've seen her in social media. Somebody that I know knows her. And I know she just had a baby. And I think it was last week or something crazy. I am not sure."
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Very
And
much
I
could
don't
be a
know
very, yeah.
how is she here wearing this dress with this big smile. I mean, I felt seen, when you're going somewhere and people say, "Hi, hello, welcome." Like, it was just so, like, I was so impressed by your charisma and your spirit. And it really stayed with me for a long time. And then fast forward, my husband's firm was looking for a marketing coordinator at the time, or
Mhm.
a manager. I can't remember. And I remember saying, "I know the perfect person." And what's funny is that Anya, my daughter, was saying
Yeah.
this week, "I remember, mommy, when we were in Miami and you told daddy that he needed to hire Erica." And I said, "You remember?" And this is like, how many years ago is this?
Uh, Almost 6 years ago. And I definitely remember that call from Mike, your husband. So I might not remember the pink or red dress moment, but I definitely remember his call. And after you messaged me from Miami, seeing if I would be interested in interviewing for the position, learning more about the position. And to be honest, I do remember telling Mike, I was like, I don't know exactly how I can, bring any talent or energy to an investment firm. I've always been in hospitality, and I'm not quite sure how that fits in, but the moment I remember distinctly, the moment that I came for the interview, I was sitting in the lobby and a client was there waiting for one of their advisors. And I just started chit chatting with her, getting to know her. We had a great conversation, I would say for maybe like 10 or 20 minutes. It was, quite a while.
Wow.
And I came up the elevator, the elevator opens up into our lobby, and there I am waiting for the interview with him. And he was like, perfect. That's exactly the kind of energy and hospitality that we want to bring into our firm. Exactly what you were doing with our one client sitting there waiting for their advisor.
Isn't that
And I was like,
interesting?
I get it. I get it. Because, investment firms and, the advisors and the relationship that they have with our clients, that's very much relationship based.
Hmm.
And it's really important, especially as a boutique firm,
Hmm.
to offer next level services, to care about the client beyond the finances.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I sat in that lobby, the first couple of minutes probably, and, leading up to that, not really understanding what I could exactly bring to the table, but he instantly like confirmed, like, this is what we're trying to bring to our firm. Not that they hadn't been doing that for years before or were not doing a great job at it, because they were. Just take it to the next level to ensure that all clients had a deep-rooted relationship with their advisory and the firm itself. So
I think
I think
that makes sense to me. I think when I met you, I could tell that you get it. You get client service, you get making someone feel special, seen, heard. And so it makes sense to me that they would be right away, be like, oh, great fit, right? And so you already started your branding, waiting on your interview, which I love. Or although it might have been the red dress, but the beginning, but this is like the second step. But tell me what you're doing that now then. I know that you came from that kind of industry where it's a little different, right? The hotel management industry, hospitality.
Right.
And so bringing that into an investment firm, how did you navigate the first few years? Because you've been there now about 6 years.
Yes. So when I was in hospitality management, I've always worked for boutique hotels and boutique restaurants, no chains or anything of that nature. So I had, you know, when you work for a small boutique business, you're doing a lot of different things. You're wearing a lot of different hats. So I already understood sales blitz, sales calls, sales in general, marketing, hospitality, event management, you know, all the things that go along with hospitality. Because again, when you work for a big hotel chain or a big restaurant chain, they have a lot of different people doing a lot of different things. But when it's a more boutique situation, you're doing it all. So coming into CPS, I didn't realize how many events they would have, how many opportunities they would have for clients to get together with their advisors. You know, we definitely wanted to increase our footprint marketing wise. So that was definitely a big push for the first couple of years, is to increase that visibility and brand awareness, which I think we've done a great job of doing.
Yes, you have.
Yes. So, but it's really important that your brand awareness and your brand identity be very authentic to you and the people that work for you and with you. A lot of the people that make up the firm are either born and raised Lakelanders or from the greater Lakeland area, Polk County, or just Florida in general. Not to say that they all are, but the majority of them are. I know that you all came from Miami, but you've been here for quite a while. So you instantly understand how philanthropic and giving the greater Lakeland community is. And so that's no different with this, you know, the firm at CPS Investment Advisors, from our CEO all the way down. So part of our brand identity was very important to make sure that we got out there and we served the community, because we get so much from the community. It's really important to give back to the community. So we did a lot of volunteer projects, allowing our team to take off during the day and do paid volunteer events. We also sponsor a lot of different community events, you know, in the area. So that definitely took our marketing to the next level. Just making sure that we were sending out an authentic message of, we care about our clients, we care about our employees, we care about the community.
I love that. I mean, I feel like it must have been an interesting transition, but regardless of how different the industries were, it looks like they were very similar in terms of how you still have to manage a lot of events, run marketing, and do a lot of things that you say boutique sized firms have to do anyway. So you were the right person. I knew it. I knew it.
Thank you.
I'm so excited that you're still with them. I know they think very highly of you. I was reading your bio.
6 years next month.
What is it? 6 years?
6 years next month.
Oh my God. We have to celebrate.
It's wild.
We have to celebrate. So I was reading your bio and I was really interested in this whole section about you going to Harrison School for the Arts and having a background in musical theater, which, you know, I think I remember talking to you about it for a little bit a few years ago, and I was shocked that you were coming from the artistic world. So I wanted to hear a little bit about it and how that actually impacts you still in your career and what you do.
Okay, so let's first say that I'm probably the least talented Harrison graduate of all time. I
What?
can carry a tune, but I'm definitely better suited to be in the chorus amongst
Oh,
beautiful, talented voices.
oh,
So I was never brave enough to be a solo singer. So I went actually to Rochelle first,
okay.
Rochelle School of the Arts, which feeds into Harrison
Okay.
um, for the most part. If anybody's interested in going down the arts path. And I was very interested in that. And I don't know if I was fully interested in it or more so because all my friends from Rochelle were extremely talented and definitely going to Harrison, and I wanted to go with them. So I studied really, really hard. I would say it's probably easier for people who play instruments to
Mhm.
follow along with music and be great at music theory. But for me, it was pretty difficult. But I studied really hard to make sure that I nailed my audition and did a lot of voice lessons to prep for that, and eventually got in. And just a little plug for Harrison is that yes, parents, if you are contemplating Harrison for your children, it's a great place to go. But primarily, the one of the best things that I got out of it is that everybody was different. Going
Mhm.
to high school for anyone is, no matter how talented or popular you might be, can has difficult moments. Everyone is trying to figure out all the things about themselves. So going to Harrison, I love that, it didn't matter what your background was or, what economic family lifestyle you came from or religion. Everybody was there for the same reason of, being one solid unit and, trying to hone in on their craft. And so doing that really pushes you outside of your comfort zone all the time. As much as I enjoy being a part of a chorus, there's definitely times where we had to sing solo in front of all of our peers and get evaluated on that. And, parents out there with children that are currently in the arts, they know all about, those performances. So it can be definitely nerve wracking, but I think it definitely helped me get over any kind of fear of being in front of people, makes you think on your feet. Definitely, like I said, makes you get more comfortable with being pushed out of your comfort zone, which I think is extremely important for anyone to do if they have the opportunity to do it in some fashion. Just find a way to just push the limits of your own to make sure that you're not staying in this, this comfortable area where you're not going to thrive and
Mhm.
grow. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. I love that. I love that, part of being around diversity and different
Yeah,
characters, personalities, situations is that you get to become a better leader, to be honest. It gives you the opportunity to speak up for yourself, not be intimidated, learn to work with others. I mean, I can see now why that would be such an amazing experience that could feed into, any career really. Now that you are telling me all these great skills, but it's pretty impressive. I mean, I think highly intelligent, emotionally intelligent leaders have these kind of qualities where they are able to be flexible and be supported by other people and build trust. And how do you do
right,
that? Well, by working with other people and doing the
right.
things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do love that. I do want to ask you about maybe some sort of recent experience where you were able to have a goal that you wanted to work towards, and then perhaps being creative, using that same creativity we've been talking about. How do you use some sort of innovation or creativity to help you get to your goal? Is there anything that you could share? with me?
Well, I laugh a little bit because I always say, and this is not always a a popular trait to have,
Okay.
but I really don't like losing. I really don't like being told no. I really don't. I do not settle.
Mhm.
And I know that that's a lot of nature versus nurture.
Mhm.
That's who I was from the start, but that's also a lot of nurturing, from my mom and from school and from leaders around me just to push the boundaries. So everybody knows I just don't sit back and settle for, mediocrity, So I definitely just push the boundaries as much as I can, to be better and do better every single day. But that is with really everything. I even try to be that way when it comes to my children's education. Um, I I push whatever we can do and however I can be a better parent.
Mhm.
For example, for the school or for the teacher. I always take responsibility for myself. I never, push some kind of project onto somebody else. So I mean, I have goals all the time is because, as you know, Nyrka, being a mom, a working mom, there's
Yes.
all these things and projects that you want to accomplish. But definitely, over the past couple of years, when we worked so hard about the brand awareness for CPS, that was a major goal that took a couple of years. And I think that it's definitely panned out and worked out for the best. And then the past year or two, it's definitely been focused more on giving back and how we can do that better and more efficiently, and for a lot of different people and organizations, to make sure that we are being good steward of the community. Coming up next year, we have a 50th anniversary. So there's lots of goals for that to kind of take it to the next level and celebrate, such a long run in the greater Lakeland area, as a company. But specifically, any goals that come to mind, I really think that they have just been more about personal growth. Um, to make sure I've been doing a lot of things recently in the past year specifically, and it's really the past 6 months, to better myself as a leader. So those have been my major goals: setting boundaries,
Mhm.
making sure, like recently I just completed with the 40th class for Leadership Lakeland. And I guess
Yes.
I'm supposed to say proudly, best class ever. But
No.
the reason why I did that is because I really thought it'd be a great opportunity to be around about 30 other individuals that are leaders in our community and to see what they do. It's really important that you don't just reach a certain point of your personal life or your professional life and just kind of sit back and let it ride. If we're not trying to improve ourselves as individuals on a daily basis, then I just don't know what the point is. So when I joined Leadership Lakeland, we took the DISC assessment, that I've already done before, but it was very interesting this time around to take a deeper dive into that. And being a DC, for anybody who's taken the DISC assessment, you can instantly pinpoint that type A personality. But it was so important for me to understand this once and for all, that um, you know, there's great qualities about being a type A personality. And as far as the disc is concerned, a DC. But there's so much that comes along with that isn't the best for the people around you.
Mhm.
And it's really important to understand your flaws and your weaknesses and tweak them, because the people around you that are working for you, your family that lives with you, it's really important that you kind of take those strengths and weaknesses and use them appropriately, or surround people around you that are, have strengths that you don't. So that's been my biggest goal for the past year, especially, like I said, the past 6 months. And it's definitely been a journey, but one that I am absolutely loving, about learning more about myself
Mhm.
and making sure that I become a better leader for the people around me.
I
That
love
makes
that. I
sense.
feel like investing in yourself and developing your skill set never ends. It's
Never
something,
ends.
yeah, no, it's something you can add every year to your resume, to your LinkedIn. It really makes you a better leader for sure. And so now that you know yourself a little better, is
Mhm.
there any way that you've used all of those new skills with your creativity? Like, how have you been able to apply those skills into your projects?
So I know that we've talked about this a little bit one-on-one, but anyone who has a personality like mine understands that it's really, really hard to give up projects to other people.
Right?
But that has been a part of this journey for the past 6 months, 6 to 12 months, is allowing other people to shine. I think that it's not that I never wanted to do that. It's just more about the project and, not trusting people to handle it the way I thought it should be handled with, care and
Mhm.
commitment and seriousness. But then it kind of clicked to me that by not doing it, I'm also taking opportunities away from people. And once that hit me that I was taking opportunities away from people by holding on to projects myself, that definitely shifted my mindset of, I'm don't keep it because you don't think they can't do a great job.
Right.
Give it up because they might actually do a great job and they might be able to prove themselves to, within the firm, the people around us, the community, that they are the future force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
So
It's like
I
an
deeply care
aha
about
moment.
people and their growth. Yes,
Hmm.
I care deeply about their growth, and I just wanted to think to myself, gosh, I really have to let go of these projects,
Hmm.
give other people around me an opportunity, and I've done that within CPS, but I've also done that with some organizations that I volunteer with.
Okay.
Just, I mean, I have literally said, this is your project, whether it was, if it's one of the organizations that I volunteer with, like you're the chair,
Hmm.
you're the chair of this event. I trust you. You're going to do a great job. And I literally did nothing,
That's
but I did
awesome.
that from a loving distance
Hmm.
of, I want you to shine. It's not about me. You got it. So
Hmm.
once like I said, made that mindset shift of me holding on to things wasn't protecting the project. It was keeping other people from having their moment to shine. It was much easier to give up
I am
and
so,
let this.
so proud of you. I think that's very hard, as you know, to delegate. So hard. And
Yeah.
you've done it. And so I think that I love that you've been creative in the way you handle your leadership abilities. And certainly I can see the growth. I've seen you for 6 years now. It's amazing. I mean, you're extremely successful and you're always open to learning new things, um, And I think that's important. I think to stay humble and also
Sure.
mentoring others, it really is the ultimate way to give back to potential future leaders that
Maybe
come
it's just
behind
part of
us.
being getting older too. It's,
Oh, we are
it's
old
just
too.
easier to mentor. It's
You're so
easier
funny.
than pass on the project. Maybe we're just tired. I
And maybe
don't
we're just
know.
tired and old. So I think my last question for you, and by the way, this has been so fun.
Yes.
I'm in awe of you and what you've become and done for yourself, really, because it is a lot of hard work. So let's just say that none of this comes easy. What would you say to future unstoppable leaders, young women that come right behind us that are looking at us as role models? What would you leave them with? And, how can well, I don't know. It could be um, the most important skill that helps you the most, or what you think they focus on studying a specific thing. I mean, I think there's something that you could probably share with many generations to come. So
Yeah.
what would that be?
Well, I do have a piece of advice that I always give, and I understand that it's a little bit controversial in the sense of it's not for everyone. It definitely depends on what your goals are, what you see out of life. But, we can only speak from our own experience and our own truth.
True.
So for me, my experience and my own truth is that I am a working mom. And I decided to become a mom at the age of 30. And it was very intentional. And my biggest advice, if that is your path that you want to take in life, if you want to be a career woman, if you want to be a mom, if you want to be successful at all, even though we drop the ball a lot because it's a lot, but is to use your earlier years to work as hard as you can, to network as hard as you can, to do as much as you can, to learn as much as you can. Because if that is your path to be a working mom or a mom or just a working woman in general, it's just going to get more complicated. The more of a leader you are, the more things that you have to be responsible for, the less time that you have. So if you are looking for that kind of path and journey, when you are typically in your early 20s, you're able to have the time and the energy to focus on growing your brand. I definitely did that. I don't regret any moment of doing that. I think that definitely contributed a lot to you and I connecting. I think that you saw how hardworking that I could be elsewhere. And so I know that's a little controversial because we don't want to, throw away a lot of time and lose our 20s or anything like that to work. But there definitely, there's always a balance, but that's when you have the time to go out and build your brand, build a name for yourself, make sure that you are contributing to your reputation in a positive way, meet as a lot of people and learn. I learned so much. I just can't even, I can never explain, and I guess a lot of people are, obviously like that, how much you learn and grow from 20 to 30. It's night and day usually who you are at the end when you turn over to 30 years old. So just taking that time and energy to focus on where you want to be eventually and what path you want to go down, I think is so important.
I love that advice. I mean, obviously I have a similar experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it was, working in Miami in my 20s and sort of
Yeah.
focusing on my career first. That's what I chose to do. Like you said, it's a personal choice.
Yep.
The reality is that it's really hard to do it all at the same time. And I used
Yeah.
to think that wasn't true. I used to think, oh, I can do it all, but you can do that probably with youth, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
energy. I think things change as you get older and priorities also change. So what was important in your 20s is no longer in your 30s or 40s or
Yeah.
50s. So
And
I
like
think
I said,
that's
I think it's not all about whether or not you have a child either. Just because as you get older, you tend to have more responsibility in your professional role, and you're responsible for a lot of people. So it's the same concept. You'll have less time to get out there, to make a name for yourself, to learn, to set aside time to learn. So with or without children, it's the same advice.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica. This has been fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, no, I
This
love
has been
having
fun.
you. Yes, I think these conversations are really important. Again, I'm raising a daughter. You have two daughters.
Mhm.
You also have a son. But I always focus more on the women because I feel like, we have a lot to offer other than bearing children and,
Yep.
being in the home. We want to also have a job and be leaders and do all these other
We
things,
wear
right?
a
So
lot of hats.
that's right. So
With or without children or being wives, we wear a lot of hats.
we
That's for
really
sure.
do. And we're friends and we're wives and we're sisters and we're daughters. And there's all these roles also that we have. Sometimes they expect for us to fill them up, but
Yep.
it's really nice to have conversations with other people that care about the same things. I am so happy that I met you those 6 years ago, that you're still around. Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Happy Mother's Day.
I know it's quite the day, and I hope that you join me again in the future. This was
Well,
fun.
thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Erica.
I love the community that you're constantly building for women in general, but especially working women. So
Thank you.
thank you and keep up the good work, right?
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
will. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. I stopped the wrong thing. Wait, hold on. I
Get
don't.
that in
Oh,
there. Do some
stop
outtakes at
recording.
the